Welcome back into the 2024 mock draft for the Grind City Media Draft. I am so excited to welcome Deuce Mason to come and chat with us, representing, as you can see, Sacramento Kings. Deuce, thank you for coming on today.
Of course. Appreciate you having me.
I'm very excited for this one because one, it's the first time we're meeting, and two, the Kings are in a fun spot. Yesterday we talked to OKC, who was best in the West and have this lottery pick because they have every pick, it seems like, until year 3000. The Kings, however, they got the 13th pick this year. They were 9th in the West, 46 and 36, and they have a good squad. Top 10 in scoring, top 10 in assists, middle of the pack, really, Deuce, in the offensive rating, defensive rating, pace, fast break. Like, they're a good team, and now they have a chance to add another lottery pick on to that. You're building around De'Aaron Fox, who's averaging 27 points a game. Sabonis 19. He's 19 points and a double-double, 19 points, 14 rebounds. I guess 6 guys average double digits scoring. So before I put you on the clock, is there a specific need that you think the Kings will be looking for?
Yeah, it's interesting because they have a lot of needs. It's a weird spot to be into because I was like, oh, I'm not going to care about the draft at all this year because I thought they were going to make the playoffs. They made the playoffs, the pick would have conveyed to Atlanta from a Kevin Huerter deal. But now here we are. They've got the 13th pick, and there's a lot of talent in this draft. But they need size, they need wings, and to be honest, we don't know what is going to happen with Malik Monk. And
Yeah.
Malik obviously was second in Sixth Man of the Year voting, so important to this team, what he brings on and off the floor. They're limited as to what they can pay him. So other teams can offer him more, and there's going to be plenty of teams trying to go after him. And if the Kings lose him, they may need help at the guard spot. So, I think there's many ways they can go around the draft and in the offseason.
You have such a good podcast voice.
It's just my voice. What do you mean? This is just my.
No, but like your voice is so good for
I'll
your job.
take it. I'll take it.
On that. Yeah, so there's just like so many balls up in the air right now if you're a Sacramento Kings fan. And so it's interesting because I feel like this draft is also so up in the air that everything can go in so many different directions. There's no if you look at any mock draft out there, there is no consistency on where people are going or where they're going to or what teams are going to. So not only do you have to worry about Sacramento and what needs they want to fill, but you also have to worry about everyone else in front of you because nobody knows anything. That being
Yeah. It's just interesting because you're right. And then you factor in the new collective bargaining agreement, and these teams are trying to jockey for position and trying to figure out trades. Some teams may be trying to cut salary. Could teams take advantage of that? I mean, who knows? Sacramento may not even be picking at 13. They can move that pick too. So
that's the other thing. That is a very I don't want to say likely, but it is something that you see online when you're seeing like what should the Kings do with this pick. Obviously, trading picks is something that can happen. You can trade it and get whatever you need to get. For this exercise, there's no trades available. So even if you wanted to do that, which is something that the Kings could look to do, unfortunately, that is off the table. So you're going to have to pick in this number 13 spot, and I'm going to put you on the clock now, Deuce, for the Sacramento Kings in the 2024 NBA draft. Who are we going with?
I know some Kings fans probably wouldn't like the fact that I'm going with a guard here.
Okay.
Because my feeling is I think Malik Monk is going to go get paid somewhere else. I think he wants to be in Sacramento, but like I said, Kings can only offer him like a 4-year, $78 million deal. If some other team comes with $100 million, he's taking that money.
And you would too.
I don't blame him at all. I will miss him. One of my favorite Kings in a short time here, just 2 seasons. But I think he's probably going to dip out. So I'm looking around going, okay, what you need someone that could create a shot to get put pressure on the defense. But so there's several options you go to with the guard spot. But the guy I really like right now, and I fall in love with a player like this, is Devin Carter. He's a dog. His dad, of course, a coach with the Memphis Grizzlies, Anthony Carter, played in the league for a long time. Yep. Here's what I love about Devin Carter.
Okay.
He's 6'3". You're like, oh, well, the Kings don't need another 6'3" guy. They got Keon Ellis, De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell still on the roster. They got a lot of guards. 6'3". He's got like a 6'9" wingspan. Great rebounder, too. His defense, He gets in the guys. And I think the Kings need more of that. Like their defense got better last year, big time, but he's going to get into guys, great at navigating screens. He's a confident player. He's really good. He can block shots. He gets steals. He fills up the stat sheet. And, an experienced college player too, played 3 years. I think he'd be a good fit for the Kings. I'm not saying he's going to turn into a star, but I just look at him and go, he's going to go somewhere and just help a good team get better.
Yeah, I think a lot of the scouts say about him is that although he's 6'3", like he plays big. Like he has a big presence. I think he's like what we thought Mitchell would be defensively. Like he is like up under people's skin. He is lockdown defender, like on ball, which is something to be excited about. And then also in terms of like playing big, 6'3", a really great rebounder, like you mentioned, I think almost 9 per game last year. And then made that big improvement from his second to third year, where he made 84 made threes in this last year compared to 35 the year before. The only thing that is being held against him right now, or like the biggest thing, is the size. Does the actual size, not like playing big, does that actual size deter you at all? Does it scare you at all?
Well, because people bring up Davion Mitchell sometimes too. Davion Mitchell undersized coming out of Baylor. The difference though is like Devin Carter is long. He's not like
Yeah.
6'3" with a 6'3" wings. We're talking close to, I think it was at the combine 6'8 3/4. I'm running up, that's 6'9". It's a
6'9".
6'9" wingspan. He is long.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my biggest concern with him is the 3-point shot real? You've seen guys improve a little bit at the college level year to year, and do you trust it? Do you trust that he can be a good 3-point shooter? I think it's essential in today's game. You have to be able to shoot it. Otherwise, you get played off the floor come playoff time. You have to be able to show you could stretch the floor and be an offensive threat. If that's real, I think he's just going to be a really, really good player. He's not going to average 9 rebounds a game in the NBA and all. That's fine. But having a guard that's not afraid to mix it up and get a rebound and push and play with that toughness, Sacramento needs more toughness. I think when you look at their roster, they added like Keegan Murray took a step defensively. De'Aaron Fox took one. Keon Ellis late in the year, but they still need some guys that bring a little of that grind city magic, right? You think about over the years, right? I think Sacramento needs a little more of that, and I think Devin Carter could provide that.
Ideally, let's say Devin Carter on the Kings. In what role does he come in off the
Yeah.
bench?
Yeah, he's coming off the bench, and this is where like some people would push back and like, do you take a bigger swing, right? Like, I know some Kings fans like Tristan Da Silva, who could be later in the draft. He's got good size, 6'8". I just think the Kings could look to attack the other needs via like free agency or more likely trades. Like they have other avenues to do that. They don't have to do it just through the draft. I think when you're at 13, I mean, if you can find a guy that could be an impactful rotational player for you, like in his rookie year, that would be huge. Now, if he's gone, do you take a swing at like Salon, the Frenchman, who's like 6'8", the 18-year-old, but he's not going to play next year, right? So there's definitely different ways they can go. I just think Sacramento's at a point where they have to maximize the prime years of Fox and Sabonis. Like these guys are in their prime. You need Keegan to take a step. Can you find some complementary guys that can get you to another level in the Western Conference? They're not that far away, but the West is stacked. Like I'm looking up and down the West going, all right, San Antonio is going to be better next year. Houston, improved. They're going to be better. Memphis, I mean, they're going to be better. And so the West is just absolutely stacked. I just think, but I also would say that there's not a lot of separation between the teams. So a couple of subtle tweaks here or there, I think Sacramento, could be a 50+ win team.
Yeah. And hey, I like the pick. I like Devin Carter. We talked a lot about him even here. He's tough, and you can't teach toughness. That's something that's right in here, baby. So I like the pick. And I liked meeting you today. So thank you for coming
Yeah.
on.
I appreciate you having me.